People have asked us why a school bus, and the short answer is just that it's super cool. Like several years ago, I remember seeing a family of 5 that had converted a school bus. They both worked remotely from it. They homeschooled their kids and they just traveled the country. And after seeing that as a possibility for a living, it's never really left me. I've always been super intrigued by that. And it's just always been that thing in the back of my head, like, hey, this is something that you want to do, so do it. You know, what's stopping you?
Jesse came to me. Remember that family that turned a bus into a tiny home that I showed you a while back? I was like, oh yeah, that was cool. Then he said, what if we did that for real? When we started talking about it and realized what it could mean for our family, it was just really exciting. And I feel like we made the decision pretty much instantly that yes, this is what we're gonna do.
I was very nervous asking her because it's a crazy idea. You know, we own 2 houses and we're talking about selling both of our houses and basically all of our furniture. It's crazy to think about. So that kind of got the ball rolling. We started looking for school buses immediately and we ended up finding one that was about 15 minutes away. We worked out a deal and within a few days we had bought the bus. There was definitely this moment where we kind of thought everything was just falling into place. We decided to buy a bus. We bought the bus in like a week, but we still had 2 houses to sell. Lucky for us, 2021 was a perfect time to sell a house and not need to buy another one. So we sold both of our houses in a span of 2 weeks. So here me and Jay are assuming that, like, okay, maybe this isn't such a crazy idea if things are just kind of falling into place. I'd never driven anything that large. I remember sitting in the parking lot for about 10 or 15 minutes just trying to figure out how to turn the air brake off. We eventually got it running, drove it home, and parked it at my mom's house. We knew that we were gonna sell our house, so we ended up parking the bus here. And my mom has been gracious enough to let us stay here while we're working on the bus.
One of my favorite things about moving into a bus is that we had to get rid of all of our stuff. I've always been overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that we had, and I guess when we really started like giving away and selling a lot of our stuff, it was just like this burden that was being lifted. It was this very freeing feeling of knowing, you know, we don't actually need that much to be happy and healthy and to just have fun with each other. At first we thought we'd buy the bus and just tear it out and start building.
But after about a week inside the bus, I knew pretty quickly that we were gonna have to raise the roof. I could walk down the center of the bus, but if I went over to the sides, I would have to tilt my head just to be able to stand there. I knew that if we were gonna build a bus, if we were gonna sell all of our stuff and rely on a school bus to live in, at least for a few years, we needed to do it right. So the idea of raising the roof was like huge to me. I'd never done anything like this before.
I was really nervous about raising the roof just because I felt like it could go horribly wrong, but it went really smoothly.
You know, if we put our minds to it, we could figure it out and make it work. And we did.
Thankfully, we had my brother and his brother-in-law here to help, and they did a fantastic job.
Chad's a really good welder. He welds for a living. So Chad and Taylor did most of the welding, and that was a huge plus. Just having them here really helped us out. Raising the roof was sketchy. It was really sketchy. There were times I thought that this thing's just gonna fall down on us and crush all of us, and we're just gonna destroy the one school bus that we found. And then we had to start working on filling in, you know, these giant holes that we just put in the bus now. So we purchased a bunch of sheet metal. I went back and forth on how we were actually going to get this really heavy sheet metal up on the bus. And I remember not long ago, I saw a channel on YouTube that had used some ratchet straps thrown over the bus attached to a tree to slowly raise the sheet metal up. I'm like, well, if they can do that, I can. Unfortunately, we didn't have anything on the other side of the bus to attach the straps to, but the sheet metal was just light enough for me to be able to lift it up. Me and Jay just worked for a few weeks getting the sheet metal up. I would raise the sheet up into place, and she would drill a few holes and pop a few rivets in there. We could let the straps go and then work on drilling out the rest of the holes for the rivets.
I did not particularly enjoy the rivets. All the rivets. Thousands of rivets. Bulging forearms.
Eventually we had the bus completely like dried in again, and that was a relief, but we knew that we needed windows, and I didn't want to spend a ton of money on RV windows. 3 of them came from a junkyard about 30 minutes away. 2 of them came from the Nashville, Tennessee area, and then the other 2 came from this RV repair shop that I just found on the way home from work one day, and asked this guy if he had extra RV windows. He said that he didn't, but he had an old RV parked out back, and it was essentially in the woods. He said, hey, if you take them out, you can have them.
All the windows have been cut.
Now we have to sand the entire bus.
We're getting ready to paint.
Yes.
Woo!
Painting's gonna be
Exciting and fun because it'll make the bus look like nice.
Yeah, painting's gonna be a lot of fun, but sanding is not gonna be fun. We will be back when the entire bus is sanded.
Say hi.
And we're back, and it's a few days later. We're finally done sanding the bus. She doesn't look very good, but she's sanded. After the windows, we were finally ready to start prepping for paint. We had to sand quite a few spots, and paint prep took forever.
So we were really excited about painting the bus, and a friend let us borrow his paint sprayer. Thanks, Blake. It just looked amazing, but we didn't know that the paint was catching the wind and floating right over to our neighbors' vehicles, and that we would have to pay for fixing the paint on our neighbor's truck.
That was extremely embarrassing and a bill that was not fun to pay.
So that's cool.
So getting the outside done was huge. You could actually like look at the bus and see how it was going to look on the outside. And that was a really big confidence booster for me and Jay.
In the beginning, when we were talking about it, it was all just very exciting, and I was feeling like giddy almost, just ready to get started on an adventure. And as it's gone on, I'm still very excited. At this point though, I'm just so ready for it to be done. I feel like I'm excited about the fact that we could settle down in one spot, or we could pick up and go for the weekend, or we could go visit family last minute and we don't have to pack. I'm excited for the memories that we're gonna have here, because I know the kids are gonna remember all of the cool places that we go and things that we do, and just the type of lifestyle that this is gonna let us have. This is gonna give us more time freedom, time with each other. I feel like it's gonna give us more financial freedom. We don't have as many bills and things that are weighing us down. Also time freedom in that I'm not having to clean a large space, which is nice.
You know, if we go on vacation or we visit a place, you know, we're in our home already. So as long as we find a place to park, we're gonna be okay. That's gonna be like a really neat experience, I think.
I feel like it came at a time where Jesse and I really needed to reconnect and refocus, and I guess just remember what is really important in life. And this has been the perfect thing for that. It's helped us in a lot of ways, and it's been fun, like being excited about the future together. It's really surprised me that so many people are following along and have questions for us and are just being supportive and encouraging, throwing out advice. It almost feels like we're building a community, even with people who we've never met before, and it's kind of neat. I like it.
It seems now I'm alone. We'll be home again. Hold on, we'll be home again. Hold on, we'll be home again. Hold on, we'll be home again. We'll be home again. Hold on, we'll be home again. Hold on, we'll be home again. Hold on, we'll be home again.